Thank you, Kobe, and it's an honor and privilege to be here from this distinguished group. You know, we've heard some complaints about the government from some of the candidates, but the fact of the matter is the NSA is a government agency that is truly listening to the people. My campaign has a single message. Freedom has worked. From the beginning of time, we've seen multiple forms of government, but those governments have failed us in many ways. But our system of government, based in freedom, has worked. Our economic model, when it's allowed to operate in a free market system, has been a resounding success. I'm Bart McLeay, and I'm running for the United States Senate because I want to be the voice for freedom, and I want to restore the law, the Constitution that protects our freedom. And I have the background to do that for Nebraskans. First of all, my family history goes back 150 years. My father was born and raised here, and ultimately came to Omaha, where I was born and raised. My mother was from Nebraska City, where my wife was also from. And my wife was in the Porter family. Some of you may know that. They're the only family in Nebraska history that had 3 generations play Nebraska football, and she was a cheerleader for 3 years. So you know what we do on Saturday afternoons in the fall. And we're big basketball fans last night, for sure. I was an accounting major in school, and I went to law school, was on the tax review. And after law school, I clerked for 2 federal judges before joining the Q-Tech law firm in Omaha, where I've been for the last 29 years. In the last 7, I was the head of the litigation group, which had me coordinate about 140 lawyers across 12 offices of the firm. If I could coordinate 140 lawyers, I'd tell you 100 senators are going to be a piece of cake. I've had experiences that made this a great training ground for being in the United States Senate. I understand matters important to Nebraskans, like property rights. I fought the federal government up in the Niobrara area when they had tried to restrict property rights, and we won. I was a special assistant attorney general for the state of Nebraska on the Republican River, and worked on that case before, up until the settlement. I understand water rights, and I also understand privacy rights. I represented a bank here locally that had its confidential credit card information taken and used across the United States. And we went in and we won that case and secured one of the largest single jury verdicts and judgments in Nebraska's history. I also understand the importance of veterans, and I've supported veterans in the form of representing the Wounded Warrior Project, a nationally acclaimed organization, which had its name used and money siphoned away. And I went in and we stopped them when we got their money back. These are experiences that will help me on the floor of the United States Senate, because these are the kind of issues we face, and I have that qualification. I want to tell you that it's more than that, though. I've been a business lawyer. I was an accounting major. And in that capacity, I understand the economic principles that drive businesses to grow and our economy to expand. But I've also been an advocate. I've stood before juries and judges who didn't share my perspective. And you don't get to just argue to the Republicans in the room. You argue to the Democrats, the independents, and everybody up and down the socioeconomic spectrum. And I've learned how to communicate in that way. But we also have constitutional issues here. We have a government that's misled us in Benghazi. We have IRS targeting political groups. We have the Department of Justice wiretapping the Associated Press and Fox News. We have the NSA sweeping up millions upon millions of records of our people. We have the EPA doing flyovers of our farmers and ranchers, and it's going to stop. They will not fool me, or they will not trick me when it comes to constitutional legal matters. I have that background. Ladies and gentlemen, now I want to ask Kobe to answer Kobe's 2 questions. 1, name a business. The business I want to talk to you about is the Lambton Electrical Station in Ontario. And you'll understand the point here. This company was told to shut down the coal delivery to the plant. They didn't have another plant set up at the time, even though they planned to spend another several billion dollars building one. This was a plant that had spent $500 million in catalytic reduction. It provided a million homes electricity, and it provided 300 jobs to people. And they decided they're just going to end it. It makes no sense, and it would make no sense here in Nebraska either, where coal supplies 70% of electricity. Minimum wage. Would I agree with it? No. Why not? Not only because it would increase cost for business, but I wouldn't do it to poor people. I wouldn't hurt them. 80 to 90% of the economists in the country will tell you that it hurts poor people by increasing unemployment. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be the voice for freedom. We're roaring into Washington. I want you to jump on the train with me. We're going to tell them that freedom works. Thank you very much.